Picture yourself standing at the base of a steep hill in Brazil. The locals call it Ventem Hill, but there's another name they whisper when the sun goes down: Dead Man's Hill. The grass here grows thick and wild, dancing in the warm breeze that sweeps up from the valley below. In the distance, the sprawling city of Niterói sparkles like scattered diamonds against the coastline. What I'm about to tell you is a story that contains elements so bizarre, so inexplicable, that it has puzzled investigators for over half a century. It's a tale of two ordinary men who walked up a hill one day following a mysterious set of instructions and never walked back down. Do you find yourself drawn to the unexplainable, the mysterious, and the cases that haunt us? If so, then mi casa es su casa. I'm Carla Jessica, and you've stepped into Paranormal. Before we dive into today's case, in a shocking twist, the subscribe button revealed it's been writing a detailed memoir about all the people who scroll past without clicking. Chapter 7 is all about you. There's still time to change that, so hit that like and subscribe button, or else. Let me paint you a picture. The year is 1966 and we're in Brazil, specifically in a bustling coastal city called Niterói. Now, overlooking this city is a place called Ventem Hill. During the day, it's the kind of spot where you might see families having picnics or kids flying kites. But the locals have another name for it. They call it Dead Man's Hill. And after the events I'm about to describe, you'll understand why. In a town called Campos dos Goitacazes, about 170 miles away from Niterói, a small electronics repair shop belongs to a man by the name of Manuel Pereira da Cruz. If you walked into his shop on any given day, you'd immediately notice two things. First, the intoxicating blend of coffee and solder in the air. And second, the absolutely meticulous organization of every single tool on Manuel's workbench. You see, Manuel wasn't just your average repairman. He was the guy people trusted with their most expensive electronics. The walls of his shop were literally covered with thank you notes from satisfied customers. His wife Maria would later tell investigators that this obsession with order wasn't just limited to his work. At home, every fork had its place, every sheet was folded exactly the same way, and that was every single day. Working alongside Manuel was his friend of nearly 10 years, Miguel José Viana. Now, if Manuel was this methodical technician, Miguel was the dreamer. He kept his worn leather notebook filled with diagrams and sketches, ideas that pushed way beyond simple repairs into something different. You see, what their families didn't know was that these two men had a secret. After the shop closed each night, when their wives thought they were just doing paperwork, Manuel and Miguel would conduct experiments. But we're not talking about fixing extra TVs or testing new repair techniques. No, these experiments involved something much more mysterious. They were obsessed with frequencies. Not just regular radio frequencies, but wavelengths that, according to conventional scientists, shouldn't even exist. On August 17, 1966, Manuel and Miguel told their families they needed to buy some supplies for the shop. Simple enough, right? They withdrew some money from the bank, enough for a few days of expenses. But something started getting really weird. The first stop was at a local shop, where they bought waterproof coats. Now, keep in mind, it was the middle of August in Brazil. The weather was clear, no rain in sight, but here's something even stranger. The shopkeeper noticed they kept referring to some kind of paper, like they were following a set of instructions. Next, they bought a bottle of water. Then, they took a 3-hour bus ride to Niterói. When they arrived, they stopped at a bar. Now pay attention to what the bartender later told police, because this detail becomes extremely important later. He said the two men seemed nervous, almost panicked. They kept checking their watches obsessively and reading the same mysterious piece of paper. Then, they ordered another bottle of water. Remember, they already had one bottle. Why would they need so much water on a clear, dry day? And then, they vanished. For 3 days, nobody knew where they went. Their families were frantic. The police had no leads. It was like they had just disappeared into thin air. Until August 20th. A young boy was flying his kite on Vietnam Hill when he spotted something unusual in the tall grass. As he got closer, what he found would become one of Brazil's most enduring mysteries. There, laid out side by side in the grass, were the bodies of Manuel and Miguel. They were wearing their best suits under those waterproof coats they had bought. But what was truly discombobulating was that on their faces were crude masks made of lead. When police arrived at the scene, they found several items carefully arranged around the bodies. An empty water bottle, a packet containing 2 towels, and most importantly, that notebook that had been seen at the bar. Inside the notebook, written in precise handwriting, was a schedule. 16:30. Be at the specified location. 18:30. Swallow capsules. 21:30. Wait for the mask signal. The investigation revealed something even more perplexing. There were no signs of violence, no evidence of struggle or trauma. The money they had withdrawn was still in their pockets. Both of their watches had stopped at exactly 18:15. The toxicology report showed no signs of known poison or drugs in their systems. The lead mask appeared to be homemade, possibly in their own shop. And that mysterious paper with instructions? It was never found. In the weeks that followed, investigators discovered something else. Hidden in the back of their repair shop was a makeshift laboratory. Among the equipment were devices designed to detect and measure frequencies far outside the normal radio spectrum. In Miguel's home, they found dozens of notebooks filled with calculations and diagrams, many referring to something called the mask signal. Some locals claimed they had seen strange lights over Vietnam Hill on the night of August 17th. Others said they had heard unusual electronic frequencies coming from the direction of the hill, but none of these claims could ever be verified. To this day, no one knows what really happened to Manuel and Miguel. What were they expecting to see or experience on that hill? What was in those capsules they were supposed to take? And most importantly, what was the mask signal they were waiting for? The case remains unsolved, and Vietnam Hill continues to carry its ominous nickname. Dead Man's Hill. Some say if you visit the hill at sunset and bring a radio, you can still pick up strange frequencies. Others claim to have found scraps of paper with mysterious instructions, only to have them disappear when they try to show others. But perhaps the most chilling detail of all of this, exactly 1 year after Manuel and Miguel's deaths, another electronics repairman from a nearby town was found wandering the base of Venom Hill in a daze. In his pocket was a piece of paper with coordinates and a single phrase written on it: "Wait for the mask signals." He had no memory of how he got there or where he got the paper. And to this day, he refuses to talk about what happened on that hill. So what do you think happened to Manuel and Miguel? Were they victims of some elaborate hoax? Were they conducting an experiment that went terribly wrong? Or did they actually receive some kind of signal that we're still not ready to understand? Let me know your theories in the comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe, or you're going to be chapter 7 in that book. Stay strange, stay mysterious, and don't take life for granted, because you never know when a seemingly ordinary day might turn into something much